So this is so much fun tonight. I love this. I'm going to sing "Me in the Sky" from "Come From Away," the wonderful Broadway play. And I have it's the song that the pilot sings, and it's the story of her career and her love affair with flying and what 9/11 has meant for that. But I just quickly want to share my own personal come from away story, which is that I was in the city on 9/11, and then I was in the city again, not that much longer, like maybe a year later, 2 years, and there was this blackout, this huge blackout over the entire eastern seaboard. I'm sure we all remember it. And if you were in the city especially, your first thought was, oh my God, it's happening again. And we quickly realized it wasn't. It was just a blackout. But I still had to get home to Connecticut, and the trains weren't running, and so I had the brilliant idea of going down to the parking garage in the bottom of the building where I was and looking for a car with Connecticut plates. And I found one, and he was going to Darien, so he took me to Norwalk. And when I got in the car, we were all talking about our 9/11 experiences, and he said, well, my family was flying back from Europe on 9/11, and we had to land in Gander, Newfoundland. And they were so kind, and we stayed in the high school gym in cots. And anyway, so I couldn't believe it when a few years later, Come From Away was on Broadway. I mean, yeah, I love those coincidences. So, okay. My parents must have thought they had a crazy kid, 'cause I was one of those kids who always knew what I wanted. They took me down to the airport to see all the planes departing, watching them fly. Something inside of me was starting. I was 8 when I told them that I'd be a pilot. But I was too young and too short, and there were no female captains, and my dad said, be patient. He said, just see what happens. But I took my first lesson, came down from the sky, and told my father I'd fly for the rest of my life. And I got my first job, flying for a mortician, just a tiny bonanza, and a corpse and me. $5 an hour for flying dead bodies. I had to climb over their faces just to get to my seat. But suddenly the wheels lift off, the ground is falling backwards. I am suddenly alive. Suddenly I'm in the cockpit. Suddenly everything's changed. Suddenly I'm not too young or too short, and the passengers in the back don't complain. Suddenly I'm flying company charters. Suddenly everything's high. Suddenly there's nothing in between me and the sky. American Airlines had the prettiest planes, so I applied as a flight engineer. And the World War II pilots, they all complained. They said girls shouldn't be in the cockpit. Hey lady, hey baby, hey, why don't you grab us a drink? And the flight attendants weren't my friends back then, and they said, are you better than us, do you think? But I kept getting hired, and the World War II crew, they retired, and the girls all thought much higher of me. 1986, the first female American captain in history. Suddenly I'm in the cockpit. Suddenly I've got my wings. Suddenly all of those pilots protesting me, well, they can get their own drinks. Suddenly there's no one saying stay grounded, looking down, passing them by. Suddenly there's nothing in between me and the sky. Suddenly I've got an all-female crew. The news caught and made headlines across the world. Suddenly stop, no one saying you can't or you won't, or you know you're not anything 'cause you're a girl. Suddenly I'm getting married, and and we're putting pins in the map where we've flown. Suddenly I have a mother, and suddenly shocked by how much they've grown. Suddenly I'm wondering how my parents would feel seeing me teaching men to be pilots. Cause suddenly I am the senior instructor, and somehow I'm 51. Suddenly I'm flying Paris to Dallas, across the Atlantic and feeling calm, when suddenly someone on air-to-air traffic says at 8:46 there's been a terrorist action, and the one thing I love more than anything was used as the bomb. Suddenly I'm in a hotel. Suddenly something has died. Suddenly there's something in between me and the sky.
Ladies and gentlemen, CathyCavender.